Well. Welcome to Marquee Backstage Live. During this crisis, we've had to come up with more creative ways to connect to music and to artists we love. Near and dear to my heart is our good friend, Denna Jakoub with Veridia. Denna, we are so excited to have you with us tonight.
Thanks for having me back. I appreciate it.
How has life been? I haven't seen you probably since December of last year. I know you guys have had a lot going on. How have you been coping now? How have you been staying connected with your fans?
With my fans?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought you said band, which is also a struggle
And that's
right now.
another question. Yeah, you can talk about that too.
Yeah, it's been a strange time, obviously. We were actually preparing to go to Europe again with Evanescence and Within Temptation. That whole tour got postponed to the fall, but at the time we literally had just set up my living room to rehearse. We had one rehearsal, and then everything hit the fan and we had to postpone. So yeah, my living room's still set up for rehearsal, all the instruments sadly awaiting to be played. It's been really difficult, honestly, because I have an autoimmune disease, so I have to extra distance myself. So I really haven't seen even my bandmates, my best friends, in the last 2 months, just here and there, and at a distance and outdoors. So I've recently been trying to connect with them more often. We've been using Marco Polo, which has been a really great app to have to connect with friends and family. FaceTime has been really healing, but connecting with fans has been really awesome. We've just been trying to be as creative as possible with content and what we can do, because we can't really do any live streaming at the moment because of the distance thing. So we've just been trying to stay creative, put out new merchandise to go with our new singles, including a new face mask, which is weird. I never thought we would come out with something like that. But it's, practical, and it says, "I won't stay down," one of our favorite lyrics, which is totally applicable to this time. And we're giving 20% of all the sales to helpusa.org to help all the families that are struggling during all this. So yeah, we're staying connected. That's for sure.
Talk about this crisis sparking creativity with you guys. I love the mask idea. It totally plays in to the song title, and it really does play in a little bit to how you cope and what the purpose of the song or the inspiration of the song was. Do you want to talk about I Won't Stay Down?
I mean, generally the song is really, for me, it was like a really difficult time in my life, and I was learning to really deal with mental health, and going to therapy, finally seeking counsel and doing the whole EMDR after a lot of trauma in my life. And that song kind of stemmed from that, just learning how to speak positively over myself, which is still a struggle, especially when the entire world is in crisis. So I really felt like it's a song that is super relevant right now and encouraging, because it's, like I said, about being as positive as you possibly can in your moment, and dealing with what you have and not worrying about the future or the past.
Well, transparency is always important. Communication is even more important. I love that you share that with us. I love that you shared it in our show, but I love that you're using that and now helping to keep people safe, and also making sure that mental health is still their top priority. So why don't we let everyone hear a little bit of I Won't Stay Down right now? All right, you guys, give it up. This is Veridia with I Won't Stay Down.
Don't
Dina, we can't get enough of Veridia. That is phenomenal song, something that most of us can relate to. You know, everybody has been going through such a hard time and such a struggle. So thank you for being an inspiration to all of us, but thank you for letting us heal by using your music. So in more positive times and more positive news, you know what, you mentioned a little earlier that you were getting ready for a European tour again. And we talked about that when we were at Thunder Sound Studios recording your episode of Marquee Backstage. Tell us a little bit about your favorite times on the road, your favorite tours, maybe some backstage moments that maybe we could all kind of live with you just through your memories.
Wow. I mean, there's a lot of favorites. I'm trying to really recall. I mean, Europe was obviously like epic and just such a unique experience, and something we felt like was a bucket list, you know, thing for us as a band to accomplish, like getting over there and meeting new people and diving into new cultures. And it really was kind of like a really unexpected lifetime experience. Was being able to be the first show over there was in Verona, and we played in like a 20,000, it was 20 it was like very old like and like it was a Coliseum style venue. And honestly, like after that show was over, it was just, and I've never had that kind of emotional response like to a show, just for so many reasons. Sorry, my dog is like
oh my gosh,
Ernie,
your dog.
He's trying to get cozy, so he hears little jingles. I've just never had like that kind of emotional response, because the show was amazing, the fan response was incredible, but just like being in that wide open space, like for one, I really felt like my dad was watching me. Like he had been gone. He had passed away like almost 3 years prior at that time. And it just really felt like he was present with me in that moment, just to be able to look up at the sky and be performing. And afterwards, it was just like this huge relief, because we had worked so hard to like do all of this together. We're entirely independent. So like Brandon booked all the flights. He like, you know, rented all of the equipment. And by the time we got there, we were just like, I really hope everything works and we have everything with us, because there's no going back now. So after it was over, it was like flawless, and we did it, and we were so emotional. Like I never just like bawled after a show, and that was just felt like so life changing. It, you know, reaffirming the fact that we just love being out there, love performing, love connecting. And yeah, John cried too, just saying.
I want that. You heard it here first. John cried too. You know, that is a pinnacle moment. And when you think about the aspirations that you have as an artist and where you really want to go with your career, how you want to touch and influence people, being on a stage in that kind of environment and something so historic, something so big, really was the perfect way for you to launch your European tour, because it put you in the headspace that you really had done what you had always hoped to do. The
Yeah.
accomplishment, like you said, bucket list. I love that you mentioned your dad, though. I lost my dad suddenly many years ago, and there are still days in my career when I'm like, Dad, did you see that? Or Dad, did you ever think this would happen? So I really love to connect with you that way, because it is something that only those of us that have been through the loss of a parent, and you really want to please them, or you want them to see that you really achieved your goal, and
Yeah.
can they share that with you?
Yeah. I feel like that was, it was one of those moments where you just like, you just knew that they would be proud, you know? And I think like that was something I always wanted to kind of like share with him. Like he always told me how proud he was of me, but for a long, long time, he always thought that like music was just a hobby and it was just something that would like fade away, but it just became more and more like everything to me. And before he passed away, like all he asked was, are you happy and do you love what you do? And I was like, yes, I've never been happier. And he just said he was so proud of me. So I'm grateful to be able to continue doing music.
Well, on his behalf, and from all of us that are your biggest fans, we are all so proud of you. All of you work so hard, and you really, truly pour your heart and soul into what you do, and we can feel it. And just reading your lyrics, for people who have never heard your music, just Google Veridia. And I mean, if you read one song's lyrics, I promise that there's no way to not connect with it, because you are so completely transparent in the way that you write and the way that you perform. And I love to feel that, and I love to connect and share that with other people. So thank you for being you and for letting us be a part of it.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So we're going to play a little more music now. I think we're going to do, what do you want to do? What song do you think's next?
Um, are you gonna play a new one or are you gonna play
Let's do
something that
one
we
more
did?
from the show so that we can tell people what's coming this weekend, and then we'll talk new music.
Okay, let's do Ghosts.
Ghosts. All right. You guys give it up. This is Dina and the gang. This is Ghosts.
Screaming voices echo in my head, wanna put them all to rest. But oh, you know it always goes like that, and I want you back again. Hey, 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 hey.
All right, so you teased a little new music, so I get the feeling that you've been super creative since you guys have been preparing for a new tour that didn't get to happen, but you still had that energy. You were still hyped up. So tell us about new music. I know there's a new single. I teased it in your podcast, but I want to know more about it now.
Yeah, so our latest single is a song called Blood Diamond. We had just gotten out of the studio like just before we were supposed to go on tour. So we kind of just spent the last couple months just, prepping for the release of those two and stuff. But Blood Diamond, we were just really proud of it. We're super excited about it. Can't wait to play it live. It's really energetic, and it's a first for me because it was the first time I spoke or sang Arabic. I'm not fluent, but it was really important to me because it's a song that is about a universal topic, which is the value of love and our human connection, which is relevant all the time. But I feel like we're all really feeling the value of that right now and finding creative ways to stay connected without having that personal touch and in-person connection. So that song is just about learning that love is really the most precious gift that we have to give each other. It's intangible, but it's still like expensive because it comes with the cost of knowing that we don't have a lot of time on this earth to experience it. So it's really, really valuable. And it's just something that's kind of taken me a long time to like really learn the gravity of that experience of loving someone and the sacrifice that comes along with it. And yeah, we also had an oud guitar player perform. He was based in Egypt, so his instrument is featured on the song. And I had a Lebanese graphic designer do the artwork for it, and he put like touches of Egyptian heritage in it. So it really was just like super collaborative and really awesome to be able to work with the producer here, Alan Salmon, and to write it with one of our good friends, Eric Taft. We actually finished it like at the end of a different tour, like when we ended in Maryland and just like stopped on a whim and was like, let's write. So it was really cool to like see it all come together. But yeah.
So in the listing on Spotify and all the places that you can get your music, you've got an Arabic, is it a translation at the end of Blood Diamond?
Yeah, it's just El Masa El Dem, and it's literally just blood diamond. It's like two nouns put together. It's not necessarily like a direct translation, but it's just, yeah.
But it's beautiful, and it generates conversation where somebody really wants to know what's the inspiration of this Arabic writing that I'm seeing. I can't understand it because I don't comprehend it, but I want to know more about where this inspiration came from. People that have never heard your music may not understand that.
Exactly. I mean, not everyone knows that I'm Egyptian American, and they may not even know that there's Arabic in the chorus. So if they're not like listening to it, I'm sure there's some people like making up words, their own words to it.
Because they don't know the words.
Yeah, but yeah, that was kind of like the intention with making it a part of the title, just so it would like intrigue and hopefully like, catch the ear of, some other countries out there. I actually got to do an interview with a Middle Eastern like online publication and stuff too. So out of that stems some really awesome, exposure. So I'm really grateful for that.
So brand new tour stops for you.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I bought plane tickets to Egypt like to go in October, and part of it just got canceled yesterday. And I'm like, I know that all this stuff is like so up in the air and so much uncertainty, but I still like, that's a goal of mine for sure, is to at least play an acoustic show in Egypt, like with the guy that, played the oud, so that would be really cool. And Brandon actually had bought tickets too, so it was going to be kind of like a little mini bucket list thing for us, but it'll happen one day.
Well, it's absolutely going to happen. Things are only going to get bigger and better for you. I love watching you guys grow. I love watching you share your soul and your spirit with everybody. How can we find more Veridia? How can we keep in touch with you?
VeridiaMusic.com has everything, has all of our socials. Definitely, we're anywhere and everywhere music can be found, and we are on all social formats. So, yeah.
We can't get enough. We love spending time with you, Denna. Thank you so much. For all of you who have not yet seen the Veridia episode of Marquee Backstage, I want to make sure that you catch it this Saturday and Sunday on all TV networks, all major TV networks across the East Coast and everywhere you can find it. You can also check it out on our YouTube page at youtube.com/Marquee Backstage. Denna, any last words, any shout out you want to do for Brandon and John?
Oh, I don't even know. Pick up a phone and call me. I'm alone with my feelings.
That inspires great music. Come on.
I know, honestly, it's been really hard to be creative musically. I've found like other outlets to be creative with, like macrameing and sourdough bread baking like the rest of the nation and stuff, but yeah, it's really hard to just like sit and be musical because I don't have anybody to really collaborate with.
Right.
Know?
Right. Well, we are so ready to hear what comes out of Veridia next, because we know there's lots of great new music, lots of great new merchandise. Please go buy these masks, because I know none of us will stay down as long as we do it together. We love you, girl. We will see you soon.
Thanks, Julie.
Thanks. Bye.